go.
Welcome back to,
Thank you.
I believe this is episode 196 of the Hot Talk. It's actually episode 4. Episode 4, believe it or not. Nothing's been released yet, but by the time this comes out, a few episodes will be released, hopefully.
Are we looking at the cameras? No.
You can look.
Yes,
can look wherever you want.
Is my attention undividedly to you, Mr. Jimmy
You have
McGinley?
to look.
Or is it over here?
If I'm speaking, now you know what? This is a pretty free show. So if you wanna look directly through this as if we're in prison.
Yes.
we're actually at the Renew's prison right now. Adam made some mistakes last night, and we're gonna have to bail him out.
I find it very hard to believe I'd be your call.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, we're gonna call the broke comedian from Miramichi, from Newcastle, to bail me out.
Here we are. By the way, I wore my
Warmest.
busy sweater, so that when I inevitably spill sauce on myself, it'll blend in a little bit. It won't be too obvious to your viewers.
You think that's a busy sweater?
Well, it'll hide sauce stains. What I'm going for.
It'll hide it well. It looks like it's going to be pretty warm. Like some of these sauces get.
I didn't even think of that. I mean, I told you and Steph I'm not into spicy food, so this is going to be an adventure. I'm only slightly terrified right now.
Well, that's okay. It's okay to be a little bit nervous. To be honest, I was always, or at least are you a wing guy?
Yes, I mean, I do love a good wing.
So you do love a good wing.
And none better than here at O'Donoghue's Irish Pub, by the way.
This is not a commercial for O'Donoghue's Irish Pub. We want to be clear on that. They're a great sponsor. They bought all the equipment, and I've secretly been living upstairs. Stefan doesn't know that yet. But anyway, so that's good that you're a wing guy. I'm also a wing guy. I do like spicy food. So you're not into spicy food or spicy Indian food or anything?
I mean, I'm an adventurous eater. I love to try new things, but I'm not the hot level guy. So when I'm ordering, I'm a mild guy. Mild, medium, or hot, or whatever. I'm usually firmly in the mild side.
Yeah, like ketchup, just straight up.
I don't do ketchup.
You don't. You're like ketchup, too crazy for this guy. Let me introduce you, even though the man who needs no introduction. But if I didn't introduce him, he would no idea when to show up today for the call. So mayor and TV producer and beer company owner, brew company owner, craft beer company owner. We'll make that look better in post. We'll just go with it. Please welcome Adam Lordon. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Jimmy. Cheers. It's nice to be here with you. Cheers. There we go.
We got to get the branding for the New Maritime in there as well.
Label out. Logo out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're gonna,
This is gonna be a thing.
It is gonna be a thing. We're really excited to have you. We've been trying to get you for years on the show, even though we've only been doing this for a couple of months. So we're just gonna toy around with it. We're gonna get started right now. So you said you're a wing guy. You like a wing. Are you more of a flat? I don't even know. These wings are mutant. I'm not sure why they're so large. Like I'm not sure even what, like a velociraptor. But we're gonna dive right in. And our first sauce that we're gonna start with it's pretty on the mild end, but it's probably on the hot end of the mild that you're used to.
The hot end of the mild, yes. Yeah. It's all relative, I guess.
So we're gonna dive right in. I do have a few questions for you. With another election, I'm going to dip, and then you can dip, and then we don't double dip because of this pandemic. Make sure you get a little bit on there.
I'm sure
you can dip as much as you want.
I'm sure one dip will be plenty.
Yeah, exactly. With another election on the horizon, what are 3 major things you're looking to accomplish if re-elected as the mayor of Miramichi?
Okay, so what would you like? You'd like me to eat wing and then answer? Or you want me to answer and then eat wing?
Whatever you're most comfortable with doing. And I know it's a little uncomfortable because chicken wings are really unattractive to eat in front of somebody. That's not bad at all, Adam.
I'm sure you'll cut out all the gross eating, right?
Dive right in, and I'm going to ask the question again. What are 3 major things you're looking to accomplish in the next 4 years if re-elected? Hot sauce, you like that?
That's not bad.
That's not
Yes, okay.
That's not
I don't know, we can handle that. We might be able to get through a couple of these.
You'll be fine.
Thank you, Jimmy. That was good. I'm tempted to just sort of eat the whole thing, but I don't want to get full before
you don't want to waste
we get to
you don't want to waste an animal.
Dave's ultimate insanity.
You don't want these chickens who have been murdered for nothing. They were all killed by Stephen LaForest right behind the canard over here. So he slaughters his own chickens. That's actually untrue. Well,
I guess I'm going to start with the caveat that I don't endorse all of the things Jimmy says. So please do not.
I agree with everything.
So please do not hold them against me, Jimmy.
You're such a politician right now.
Well, you're asking political questions, which I'm more than happy to answer. But I've got so many things that I'd hope to work on in coming back. First of all, to clarify, I do plan to reoffer. So I will hope that I do have an opportunity to be back, to be reelected, if the people will agree with that and choose me to be their mayor one more time. But there are a lot of important things that we've been working on, and as you know, in any business, things take time. You have to build plans, you have to execute plans, and to see results. And we're starting to see some great results around the community, I think, but there's always more work to do, and some of the challenges we face are pretty significant. So 3 things that come to mind, probably more than 3, but certainly top of mind for me. 2 big priorities that I've had this term that I'll carry into the new one is population growth, and housing. Yeah. So we know, and they're very connected, and they're also connected to labor force. So for a long time in Miramichi, we've had a declining population and an aging population. And there are stats out there now that we know that across the entire province of New Brunswick, we're about 50,000 workers short over the next decade just to keep our economy where it is today. So certainly we need to make sure that we're bringing new people back to the community, bringing people back home to the community, just to ensure that some of our local businesses have the workers they need now to stay open. But then also, if we want to grow, and we do, we're going to need even more.
Can you share any strategy or even a high-level plan on how to achieve that, to bring people back?
Sure. Well,
people here?
For years now, it's first of all something that everybody's got to do together. So we've got to think regionally and then work provincially as well with provincial governments. But I was part of a team called Growing Miramichi that built a population growth plan for the region of Miramichi, because as a city, we have to work with our neighbors. And really, if somebody's going to move to Rogersville or Nigawak, that's good for Miramichi too, and vice versa, right? So we've got a 3-year population growth plan, and there are many components to that. You have to get people here, they have to feel welcome, and they have to want to stay. And so then building on that, one of the other priorities I mentioned is housing, and in particular, affordable housing. So we know that we've had about a 1% vacancy rate for many years now in Miramichi, which is extremely low. So we need to get housing built, and we've spent the last couple of years doing a housing needs assessment, a downtown redevelopment plan that has a housing component. We've just adopted housing incentives that are going to give $10,000 a unit to anybody who's going to build multi-unit dwellings in our downtown cores, which is going to create density and help small businesses in our downtowns, like O'Donoghue's Pub, and also an incentive for $10,000 a unit for anybody building affordable housing, which we desperately need in the community. So for people that are coming here, whether it's the record number of newcomers coming to Miramichi, but just because we lack the supply right now, all of the prices of rental units in Miramichi are higher than they should be.
They are, I
so
agree.
The more units we have, the more we can bring down all those rates as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
So population and housing. Certainly addictions and mental health is another issue that we know we face in this community. It's a big challenge. Now, that's another one of those issues that's traditionally a provincial responsibility, but the reality is all levels of government have to work together and with experts in their fields to come up with solutions for mental health and addictions.
Are there any ideas specifically that you have? We see in other provinces, we see safe injection houses, methadone clinics, things like that. Is there anything specific educationally or in treatment that you're looking to specifically put in place or propose?
Well, I'm not an expert on those issues, but it's my role as mayor to bring people together, to get the advice of people who are experts, and then bring people together to make those things happen.
So you answer a question exactly the opposite way of Donald Trump. You'll just say if he doesn't know the answer, you'll just make something up. But surrounding yourself with the right people and with the experts, and then learning from them and growing with them, municipally, regionally, nationally, I think is the right.
Well, and we all have our role to play, right? So we did over this term. There are safe needle disposal boxes that we've put up in the community.
Right.
We've added a community policing component back into the police force. They're working with the mobile crisis unit. So on the municipal side of things, we're building the pieces that we need to build, and also continuing to call on the provincial government to put in the resources that need to be there as well.
Yeah.
Because it ultimately always comes down to resources. And the experts in mental health and addictions know what they need, but they need government to come to the table with dollars to make those things happen.
And I think there's some people that look at this issue very myopically or very nearsighted, and they just get angry at people who have addictions when they don't know, how that person got to there. They could have been in a car accident, they were prescribed something, there's a lot of different reasons why people could go down these paths, and I think it's important to understand that it's a long-term solution that requires many different facets within the community. Let's move on.
It's not just about prevention, Jimmy, but if I could quickly also say
absolutely.
one last item. I know you asked for 3, but I'm going to give you a bonus.
I think you did 15.
Downtown, I've been a big passion for me has been renewing our city parks, our public spaces, and our downtown. So building that downtown redevelopment plan and renewing basically almost every public park space in the city over the last 4 years, from Ritchie Wharf, Allen Park, Station Wharf here right across the street, French Fort Cove, Queen Elizabeth Square. It's been so rewarding to see these public spaces come back to life and see people using them again.
Absolutely.
And so, to me, as long as I'm in this role, we're going to continue investing in our public spaces and making sure that they are there for our community to use and enjoy.
Yeah, no, that's a great answer. And I haven't been on the zip line yet since I moved back. I'm not sure where you end up when you go to the other side of the zip line. Does anyone know?
Well, it's the longest zip line in the Maritimes. It's very exciting. You end up somewhere in the middle of French Fort Cove, and then you find your way. You go to the next ramp and come back. It's a blast. Hopefully, it'll be open again this summer. And I'd be happy to go with you, Jimmy.
Oh, we can do
When
that.
I went on Have a Chat, I invited Judy to come down to the zip line with me, and
that would've been
I would
great.
treat you no different.
If we say Judy Logier's name one more time, she will appear.
I hope so.
We were talking about her earlier.
She'd be a great next guest.
We are trying to get her on. We're trying to get all 3 of them on. So we'll see if they can do that. I don't know how she's going to do with the wings, with the spicy wings. But anyway.
That wasn't bad.
Well,
I
that
won't
was
be
the
saying
first
I
one.
won't be saying that for
That
long.
was the first one. You can see how these episodes are 3 hours long?
Yes, I do now. Yeah. It's a little bit hard for me to sort of do the eating hot wings and talking about serious
Dude, I've been trying to
issues,
stop my
but
whole life,
here
and
we
I
are.
can't do it, yeah.
Here we are.
I'm going with a flat this time.
Jimmy, show the people at home what the bottle looks like for this one.
So this one here, Adam was a little bit concerned about this one because it's literally in a gasoline jug.
Yeah.
So, and it also says...
It's called Gasoline Revenge.
It says, yeah, I know.
Burn, baby, burn.
It sounds almost offensive for some reason. The first ingredient is, believe it or not, water, and contains wheat. So hope you're not silly, one of those celiac people, if they really exist. I already poured it in there, so.
Oh, so this is you. I didn't even notice.
Everyone's gluten-free now, eh? Everyone, but they're not gluten-free when they're at home eating. You know what I mean? Well, I'm only gluten-free when I'm at the restaurant. So I'm gonna dip first, and I'm gonna ask you another question. The questions are gonna get hotter, and the wings are gonna get hotter.
The question, I'm not sure what you mean by hotter, but here we go.
Well,
not the wings, the questions, I mean.
Up.
Yeah.
Well, the whole thing is okay. That'll wake you up a little bit.
Okay.
That was the grossest way to eat that wing. I'm so sorry to our viewers. Name something that you would have done differently in the fat, and we're not going to focus all on your marrying. Name a couple things, or one thing you would have done differently in the past 4 years. I hope we put a lot on there.
It's a good question, Jimmy.
Job interview question. Your exit interview or entrance interview.
It's hard. It's hard to approach this. As you know, as a mayor or as any elected official, you work with a lot of different people, and you can't always control the outcomes, right? You have a voice, as a mayor in Miramichi, I don't even have a vote. I certainly get to have an opinion and work with the team and try to, steer things in the way that I think they should go. But ultimately, I guess I don't feel like there's one thing that I did wrong or could have did differently. There are things that didn't necessarily turn out the way that I would have liked them to turn out.
Sure.
But that doesn't mean that I would have or could have did anything differently,
right.
if that makes sense.
Right. Did the things that didn't go the way you planned, because no one gets everything that they thought they were going to get.
Exactly.
Did that make you pivot to maybe try another strategy?
Well, it always does, or it always could.
Yeah. Are you talking about something specific?
Well, I guess the one thing that's disappointing from the first term is that we were not able to secure the funding for a new centralized recreation facility.
Right.
But that is not something that we could have controlled.
Right.
Certainly, we submitted the project back in 2018 for funding. We had taken the advice of the government of the day at that time. Bill Fraser, was still the Minister of Infrastructure.
Sure. Yeah.
Government changed. Premier Higgs came in. Premier Higgs is somebody that has very different philosophies from the previous liberal government on a number of fronts, specifically as it relates to infrastructure spending and spending on infrastructure in our municipalities and our communities. It's certainly a 180. So while there is a provincial federal program for infrastructure for municipalities with hundreds of millions of dollars in it, communities like ours can't access those dollars from the federal government unless the provincial government is willing to contribute as well. And since being Premier Higgs and his government have committed about $10 to $15 million a year over the last 2 years for every municipal infrastructure project across every community in the entire province. So when you're looking at building a $40 million centralized rec facility that needs $15 million from the provincial government alone, and there's only $10 million for every community across New Brunswick to share,
right.
It's not a very good climate for securing the $15 million that you need.
Yeah.
And that most other communities across New Brunswick, when they build a project like this, can rely on a provincial contribution.
Well, maybe we should tell Blaine Higgs that we're going to invite, the first guest at the rec center will be like a Lawrence Welk tribute band. For him. You're like, how do I react to that? He's an older man. He probably likes Lawrence Welk. I don't even know who that is. My grandmother used to have VHS tapes. So maybe if we will invite him and Elton John.
I honestly don't know who that is. But
Elton John?
No, the first one. Of course
Lawrence Welk was like a singer. Wasn't he a singer, Steph? Yeah, I'm asking you.
A variety show.
Oh, it was a variety show. I thought
show.
he was a singer. I tried to think of the oldest
Singing,
person.
dancing,
Yeah. Blaine Higgs will never be on.
Look, and I certainly.
Blaine will never be on the show now.
There are other areas in which we work very well with Premier Higgs. We're making good progress on historic municipal reform. That's very exciting for Miramichi and for all communities across New Brunswick. But one area where we certainly don't agree is that we've for a couple of years wanted to see them engage with us on this project, come to the table, and we're starting now to see a little bit of progress now with in the new year.
Sure.
So the project's back on the front burner.
That's
It is the only viable future for the community, I believe, to have
the
one new centralized facility. Yeah, but we are not going to be able to advance that project without the provincial government engaging with us in conversation about contributing to the project. So that would be the biggest frustration or disappointment I've had, is that they have not done that up to this point. Although now it looks like they are being willing to come to the table and start those discussions. So certainly that's not going to happen this term, but hopefully it's something that will move forward next term.
Is because Moncton just built a big one downtown, and is it the competition, or is it there's no interest in investing?
It's
a
philosophical difference, I believe. I mean, they've been consistent in really not investing in large numbers in any community infrastructure across New Brunswick. So I think it's philosophically that they're prioritizing dealing with the deficit, you might say, the fiscal deficit. However, in reality, when you're prolonging reinvesting in new facilities for a community, like in our case, our rec facilities, inevitably there are only going to be 2 pathways here. So do you not think that Miramichi should have recreation facilities? Or they're going to cost more when you inevitably do it later? Right. So, for us, we're increasing the infrastructure deficit at the expense of the fiscal deficit. But what we're hoping now to see is that they will come to the table, and inevitably this is the only path forward, in my opinion, for the community, is one new centralized facility. It's going to be cheaper to operate, and it just makes sense. We've got some of the oldest rec facilities in New Brunswick, and it's time to renew those.
I completely agree with you. I'm not going to give a diplomatic answer, even though we're being very political today. I'm going to say I absolutely agree with that, and I think it's a good step forward for our community that I was born into and raised.
Well, we're going to keep pushing.
We're going to keep pushing. We're only on question 3, and we're at, what do we got, Ash? We got an hour and a half filmed already. We're good. I'm going with the drum on this one. So this is the 3rd one. So this is from, I think from Ontario. Blueberry flag, it's called. You always want the word flag in the foods that you eat.
I'm thinking the blueberry means that it will be not as hot. That last one, I'm still feeling that last one.
What are some positive things that you've learned in the past 12 months about Miramichi and the people in it?
Ooh, that's a good question,
now,
Jimmy.
I mean, we have dealt with did you try that blueberry?
We do like this. I have not yet.
There's a lot of flavor. Yeah, you got a good one there.
You got a good one?
Yeah, I think
How hot is it?
It's not that hot.
Not that hot.
Not that hot.
There's some kick there. I guess by the time you get through this,
there's more kick there.
Your mouth's just going to be on fire, and you're just not really going to taste anything.
Yeah, I should have asked you that rec center question later. I gotta get pigs on board. I gotta get Trudeau on board. I gotta get everyone on board with this.
You said
positive.
Sorry,
positive. So, what are some positive things that you've learned in the past 12 months? Obviously, I've never been through a worldwide pandemic before. Little mini epidemics.
It's our first time. Yeah.
It's our first time globally. So I don't want to focus on that, but you can't ignore it. So what are some positive things that you've realized about your community? People getting on board with things, and
I think we've realized, first of all, that we literally have been the best in the world at dealing with this circumstance. If you look at it by the numbers, I think to have 6 cases of COVID in the entire Miramichi region in a year is incredible. I think we learn and we relearn when we go through these difficult times that the community is always going to rise to the occasion. Miramichiers are so resilient, and they're so incredibly community oriented, and they look out for each other. And people, over the last few months especially, I've been asked dozens of times why, what do we attribute it to that Miramichi's numbers are so low when it comes to COVID? Yeah. And, there are a number of reasons. Some of them are circumstantial, right? We live in a geographically big community with not a whole lot of people. So, there is, there's something to that, right? Yeah. Density works in our favor on this side. The quality of life that the other side of that is the amazing quality of life that we have, right? But further to that, Miramichiers, I think I've always understood from the beginning the importance of doing this, and doing it not just for themselves, but for each other, for their friends and their neighbors and their family members, in particular the elderly. We know we have a high population of seniors in this community. We know they're most vulnerable. And out of respect, I think, that we have for our essential workers, our healthcare workers, our first responders, if we as individual citizens aren't following those rules, we're making their lives tougher. And we could literally be costing lives of our family and friends. So I think from the beginning, we've connected those dots, and we've decided to take part in following the rules, even though it hasn't always been pleasant, right? And the other thing that people have done, I think, is risen to the occasion of supporting local businesses. Mm-hmm. And we've certainly seen and appreciated that too. So, sort of like the ice storm a few years ago, which was the first winter I was mayor, and we saw, many people in the community, most people without power for days, right? And people rose to that occasion and took care of each other and looked out for neighbors that didn't have power and made food for each other and checked in. And that's what we've been doing all the way through this too. So it just makes you always so appreciative, to live in a community that looks out for each other.
Same thing happened in Fredericton. I had a shower at someone else's house, and they didn't have a door on the shower. They didn't have a door on their bathroom, so it was really awkward for like a week. But I was appreciative to have the shower over there. I didn't have hot water for like a week in Fredericton, so I was like, I showered at the office, and they were like, yeah, do you know how bad you have to go to the bathroom when there's no door on the bathroom? Anyway. That's pretty bad. The answer to that is pretty bad. But I agree. It's Miramichi are extremely resilient, and I'm impressed with even the following the COVID guidelines and the rules and that. There's not a whole lot of people I see. I mean, I know we're not wearing masks right now. We have this.
We've got
we're at the bank. I'm like doing my taxes right now at H&R Block with Adam. But I don't see a whole lot of people breaking the rules about the masks. I know they're mandatory now. People are, social distancing. There was a little bit of a stint at the Beta Vin days there. I remember in the summer. But I mean, there was no cases, but it's like it was recommended that you don't go have boat parties. And then we had that comedy show in August.
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Yeah, remember?
My birthday. Yeah.
So that was a fun time. But I was like, oh man, I hope that people wearing the white sunglasses at Beta Vin days don't ruin it for us all. I've never gone to Beta Vin days anyway. I was like, COVID-19 is probably not the worst thing you can catch at Beta Vin days. But I don't know. Ashley's never been to Beta Vin days either. Anyone who looks like that, who wears headphones. Sound guys have never been to Beta Vin days. Have you ever been?
I'm doing my best to be professional here, Jimmy. I have been to Beta Vin days, not in a very long time.
Right.
In my youth. The follies of my youth.
We're still sort of in our youth. Yeah. I'm not going to ask Adam Lordon his best Beta Vin day story as a follow-up.
That's good, because I'm not going to give it.
You know what? Me neither. I think my tent is still there from 2005. The other guy I was with just took the tent and put it right back in the back of the truck. He said, I'm not even folding it up. I'm returning it to Canadian Tire as is. So we did this one.
We did Blueberry.
Yeah. Don't worry, we'll edit all the unprofessionalism. You get real answers here when you eat spicy wings, and you haven't had a drink of milk yet.
I have not.
This is good.
Well, I mean, you have told me they only get hotter, so if I go to the milk on number 3, there's nowhere else to go.
If I drink all the milk now, we're screwed. I love how on question 3 it's like, press them on Beta Vin days. Talk about Beta Vin days for 45 minutes.
Your journalistic instincts, Jimmy.
I know. Yeah. I do not like going there. It doesn't sound like fun to me. I don't want to be on a boat with people I don't know about. I'm going to dip this. This one is...
Oh, this is... Okay, where?
This is... Yeah, we're at Hurricane Florence right
Hurricane
now.
Florence. The Carolina Reaper.
The Carolina... Is that what it is? Yeah, Carolina Reaper. So it also has a picture of a cowboy burning to death. Just check my watch. I have no idea why.
Do you have somewhere to be, Jimmy?
I don't. So you talk about being professional. This next question is going to be amazing. I'm going to take a bite right now.
Oh, there's weird noises coming from over where Ashley is. So are we still rolling, or it's going to be another live stream debacle?
Stop talking about my live stream mistake. We worked out the kinks. Honestly.
Okay, how's this?
It's good. It's a lot of flavor, a little bit of heat.
Little heat.
Who do you think would win in a fight between Lord Beaverbrook or Francis Peabody, and why? This is the one I was thinking of.
This isn't too bad.
The inventor of Newcastle and the inventor of Chatham. There's always been a little rivalry going on.
I was going to say, do you know Sean McCarthy?
I do know Sean McCarthy. He's a really good actor.
Sean is an incredible actor, and a brilliant local historian. So I would be inclined to ask Sean who would win, because Sean,
We gotta get him on here.
you know, again, I can make a guess, but Sean, I feel like, could weigh out the pros and cons like it was a WWE title bout.
and I think they're two different eras too.
And give you like the, you know.
Because when's Francis Peabody? So, I mean, Beaverbrook, Max Hagan, he passed away in the 60s, 1960s, I believe.
Yes.
1960?
Mm-hmm. But then there's no way he was not the founder of Newcastle.
Who?
Aiken.
Aiken was the founder
Beaverbrook.
of Newcastle?
No, because Newcastle is much older than.
Yeah.
He
got a lot of the glory.
I must admit,
he got a lot of the glory.
This is
School, that's a little hot, isn't it?
This is hot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know,
Yeah.
all of the details of all the local history that I know very intimately, Jimmy, are just escaping me because of the heat.
That's why we're doing it. That's why we're not just. This isn't have a chat on Rogers.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. That hit.
We're only about halfway through, but you know, have a little drink of milk. Steph, do you have the whipped cream as well?
A little drink of milk.
Yeah.
Woo.
Steph's like, I'll bring it out.
We're in business now, Jimmy.
And there's also, I stole this from my mother at her apartment.
Are you perspiring, or is it just me?
You are as well.
Oh yeah, no, I know I am. I can't see through the glass.
Well, no,
you
I
are.
can see you through the glass, and I can see my own reflection. So it looks like you're sitting with my.
All right.
That was good. So we're gonna take that away. So I think. So that is a history lesson. I didn't think he founded Newcastle, but he's just like, this was me.
It was certainly a big influence, a big contributor.
Yeah, and so was Peabody.
And
honestly, I think Beaverbrook would fight dirty. So I just think, you know.
Well, he was involved in politics, so.
He was?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course he was.
So
and
perhaps.
Newspapers. So he'd be able to control what was
Yeah, well, I'm not sure who would win, but you're right. Beaverbrook would ensure through his newspaper empire that everybody thought he won, no matter what happened.
Yeah. Wow, we can tell we're really getting into the dirty details here of Lord Beaverbrook's history. I can tell you're a Peabody fan. It's like we're talking sports, but we're talking like founders of local towns. We're like, hey, my guy's gonna win. Your guy's gonna win. My guy has a full body bust down here on the bench, and your guy's is only a bust in Newcastle. Only from the shoulders up, eh? That's all you can do. Is he buried there, by the way? Is Beaverbrook buried in the park?
I do not believe so.
Where is Beaverbrook's body? That's what we're gonna. That's like where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? We're gonna use some of this. Some of this is hilarious, and you haven't spilled any sauce on your
not yet.
Sweater. Are you too hot in that right now?
No.
There's like a Coors Light. We'll probably get you a Coors Light t-shirt. Like extra triple XL Coors Light t-shirt from O'Donoghue's Irish Pub. You have extensive experience.
Okay.
We're gonna keep going. You don't
We're
have
going.
to keep going.
Okay. No, I'll keep going. I mean,
you just do a little baby
you told me that everybody else has gone all the way. I can't.
And this is Reaper 51. Oh yeah, we would never let you live
I
it
can't
down.
be the one not to.
Shameful.
But I'll be more aware of how much sauce I'm putting on these things. Oh my God. I didn't see how much you put on. Did you?
I did a little dip.
Just a dip, like.
Yeah, that's a good amount.
That's a good amount.
That's a good amount.
Okay.
You have extensive experience in producing and directing and working on television shows such as MasterChef Canada, Amazing Race, The Marilyn Dennis Show. Can you tell me a little bit more about your latest adventure with my good friend, James Mullinger, on the Atlantic Edition?
Oh, sure.
Tell us about that.
Absolutely. That one, maybe it's just a delayed hit, but or maybe that's
going to hit you at 3 o'clock this morning.
Number 4 has reached me a new plateau that we're close to.
We'll switch these for next time. This might
Maybe.
migrate. This is going to migrate to your lips, I think.
Okay, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
Well,
it's coming for you, man. The Reaper. It's coming for us all. I'm going to have a little glass of milk, too.
Northumberland, of course.
Before you get into James, what's your favorite type of TV show to produce and direct? Or is it all sort of the same?
You know, I mean, I most of my career has been in lifestyle, reality, documentary. There's a lot of similarities, but also unique differences to each of them. I mean, one of my favorites, I did a reality competition show when I was working for Maryland, where we were searching for new on-camera experts to be regulars on the show. Mm-hmm. So directing and producing the reality competition was so much fun because you get to create the challenges. So they were cooking challenges for cooking experts and you know, casting the characters to fill different roles within that crew. And so there's a lot of fun when you're doing a competition show, I guess. But documentaries like the one, you know, it's more of a documentary or interview show with James, the Atlantic edition, is a lot of fun too because it's a little bit more. It's a conversation show. We're meeting very interesting people.
Absolutely,
people like Chef Michael Smith or Alan Doyle.
Alan Doyle from one of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
BBC, right?
Yes, and Mary Walsh, the comedian. So they're very, very interesting people. So I've always been fascinated by people. So to help as the director, you know, to do the research and focus the interview and work with James on getting great content, but also then doing that in a way that's visually interesting and beautiful, or trying to do it that way. Yeah. So the show is really interesting people, all Atlantic Canadians that have done really significant things, and that they choose to do them here in Atlantic Canada. Sure. That's part of what I love about the show too, right?
And James is James is since I met him 6 years ago, he's just, you know, New Brunswick. I just love coming to New Brunswick. I love it. I knew he was a true Maritimer. He's almost a Miramichier. Like, he's almost could live here.
Well, he's been so great. You know, like before I worked with him, you know, he's come through for years, and unfortunately, you know, to the Vogue, which. Yeah, it's disappointing, you know. Yeah. But James has been Miramichi has been a regular stop for James, and he's been and he really is a true champion for all of Atlantic Canada.
I knew he was a true Maritimer once we did some shows in Fredericton at the Capitol at the Wilsers Room where we started doing comedy, and I lived right next door, and he comes over, and somehow he still had the beers from the bar with him. He had like the beer glass. We were having such a good time after the show. I was like, "What? How do you still have the? You can't leave the bar with that." he was like, "I don't know. I didn't realize I had it in my hand." And I was like, "That's the best James Mullinger impersonation ever, by the way." And then he's like, "All right, let's get back to Willis's. Let's get back to Willis's." And I said, "Okay." And then we go back out the back door, the emergency exit, which the alarm thankfully didn't go off. And then we're going down like sort of the catwalk, and it's winter time, and it's like a metal stairs, and it's very slippery. He falls down, like slips down. He has 2 beer glasses in his hand, makes it all the way down to the bottom, somehow found the center of UK British gravity all the way down, and then he's like, I knew he was a true Maritimer when he didn't spill a drop of his beer, and he fell down like 14 steps. And he just gets up, he's like, "Where the hell's Wills' room?" But I love him. But enough about James Mullinger. But yeah, is there anything else you want to tell us about that?
It's been
a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah, I mean, we filmed it all, I guess, in September and October and into November, and they're airing now. They're on Bell Vibe. The on-demand service, if you're a Bell subscriber, and yeah, we're really pleased with them, and hopefully we'll do more.
Awesome. Yeah. Hopefully we'll do more of this. Hopefully we'll have you on again for season 2 of a whole new list of sauces for you to tell you, like, I'm never doing this again. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, that was a fun time, but we'll never do it again. The next sauce, actually, my sound guy and good friend. It actually kind of looks like Ashley on the bottle without his headphones. And when Ashley used to have horns, he had them removed as a young child. He doesn't like talking about it anyway. It's called Heiko's hot sauce. So I actually haven't tried this one, Adam. So it's near the end.
This is new. Oh, have you? You have tried them all?
No, I have not tried this one. This is new to me.
This is new.
Yeah, I tried all of these except this one and then this one.
Okay.
So we're going to try this one. And I think I have some more questions. I'm going to, you know what, I'm going to do your strategy and dab a little bit like that. That's a lot. So that would be considered a lot, I think.
That does look like a lot.
Yeah. You don't have to do that one.
You haven't noticed my other strategy, which is letting you try them first. But
Get into it.
We'll see here. This is okay.
Your other business venture is called New Maritime Beer Co., in case you didn't know that. And it's definitely one of my favorite craft beers in New Brunswick, if not Atlantic Canada. I do comedy all over Atlantic Canada. I try a lot of craft beers. Love it. Love the IPA. Love the double IPA. Love the stout. What sets it apart from this seemingly saturated, overcrowded craft beer market? Not just in New Brunswick. I think there's like 73 brewers in New Brunswick. What sets it apart and what makes it maritime? What makes it new maritime?
Well, we think that there are two very important factors to that we wanted to infuse into creating a company. One was the beer. The beer has to be good, right? So you've got to make sure that the product
100%.
is as good as it can be. Is very, very good. So that's why from the beginning the first person we hired was our head brewer and your good friend and
One
mine,
of my best pals,
David Draper, the wonderful David Draper.
Yeah.
And David comes to us with a lot of experience. He's a national award-winning brewer from comes down from a brewery in Ontario. I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
And is very good at what he does. And so the product, the quality has to be there, because at the end of the day, people might try something new, but they're not going to stay if it's not good. And then the other component, it's the branding and the marketing and who are we as a company. And for us, New Maritime was really about infusing that the maritime way of life, that laid-back lifestyle, the hospitality, the love of a good time, being fun and playful, but also doing that with the New Maritime in a way that was fresh and contemporary. So, and it's been changing so much even in the last few years, but even just a few years ago, or in the last few years, in Miramichi, we can certainly see it, but even all around the Maritimes, there are more entrepreneurs, younger entrepreneurs in their 20s and 30s and 40s, starting new businesses, new types of businesses, or taking over and renewing businesses. And so for us, sometimes people have a perception of maritime that's very, very old, and so we wanted to just present maritime and all of the wonderful things about that, but in a new and contemporary way. So combine the best of what it means to be maritime, but also in a fresh, new way.
And what's your favorite beer? What's your favorite flavor that you guys brew? What's your favorite tap?
I do like most of them. This Centennial Pale Ale that we're enjoying here
is very good.
Is very good.
It's very easy to drink.
The Citra was our very first, has been always one of my favorites, the Citra IPA. And I also, I love the stout and the chocolate brown. I like the darker beers too. Mm-hmm. So the Refined Pirate Stout and the Beauvair's chocolate brown.
Sure.
So I guess it always, like anything else, it's always maybe a bit of a mood thing. Mm-hmm. Am I in the mood for, to have a stout and read a book, or am I in the mood to have a couple lights and chat with a friend?
I have never had a beer and read a book.
Oh.
That's why we never hung out in high school.
You're missing out, my friends. You are missing out.
I was like, it's Friday night. I think I'm gonna grab To Kill a Mockingbird and a couple growlers.
I've been spending my Sunday nights with a
honest answer. I love it.
With a stout and Barack Obama's autobiography. I've been my Sunday nights recently.
You're just gonna watch. I'm just gonna marathon The West Wing and drink double IPAs all night. I do know that you love President Bartlett. I do love President Bartlett. I love the West Wing as well.
Yeah, that's an amazing show.
If President Bartlett was our premier, we would have that recreation.
I think so.
we would have that.
I think so.
Premier Higgs is never going to watch this show, so we don't have to worry. Now this next one.
No, you don't have to worry.
Yeah. I won't. No, I'll never do a show for anything bigger than the Vogue Theater anymore. So that, thanks to the things I said about Beta Vindays. I'll never perform at Beta Vindays. That's, the Beta Vindays people are just like, they're just sitting there with their white sunglasses and they're just like, we're never gonna hire that guy. So this one, we may have already.
This is it.
We may have already answered some of these questions, but I'm gonna come up with. Yeah, can you put it in there?
There we go.
Okay, I got a nice big drum.
This is it, eh?
So Adam, this is a little bit. This is the last dip. The last dip. We don't want to get sued.
Dave's Ultimate Insanity.
Yeah, it was made by David Draper. He was secretly making this when he was supposed to be making beer in the back. And he was bragging about his beer Oscars.
His beer.
His beer Oscars. He's like, I won awards.
Award-winning brewer Dave.
I absolutely love that
David
guy.
Draper.
He listens when you talk to him. And I like that, and it's rare. That's a lot, man. So that's a lot. That's quite a bit. So I'm going to take a bite. I'm going to probably take half that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what's great? People are like, Darcy McLaughlin, well, that's his body over there. So he passed out for a week now after this. So he said he went to McDonald's right afterwards because he was like, those wings were so good. I wish there was more. It's hot.
It's hot?
Mm-hmm.
All right, well.
This morning. '2021, what's coming up in the life of Adam Lordon? Hopefully we'll get some vaccines. Hopefully we'll get the rollout. We'll get some herd immunity reached by the end of the year. We can open up business. What's on the roadmap for new beers at New Maritime? Can you give us away any, not necessarily secrets, but any general roadmap of the direction you guys are going? Events, beers, products, and what can we expect to see guests what guests can we expect to see on the Atlantic edition?
Whoa.
A little bit of a kick, eh?
Well, that's definitely the finale.
Yeah.
Whoa. Well, in the immediate short term, Jimmy, we'll be looking forward to my mouth no longer burning.
Yeah. Well, that's just your mouth. Wait till tomorrow.
Oh, wonderful. You know, it's an exciting. It's going to be an exciting year. I mean, we the obvious, of course,
right,
is we all look forward to, you know, life outside of very active COVID. So
absolutely, yeah.
You know, the vaccine is something we're all looking forward to, and you know, I'm
just
hoping
any vaccine at this point.
Yeah.
It's so hot. You're just like, give
it to me. So, you know, seeing a semblance of a new normal by the end of the year in the community and on a personal level, of course. Yeah. So being able to feel like you can, you know, do the things that you like to do. Yeah. But outside of COVID, you know, I am very lucky that I do a lot of work that I really enjoy. You know, so
That's rare to hear too. A lot of people just they don't get to do jobs that they enjoy, careers, and that's good that you love doing this, and in the face of a pandemic as well.
Well, I mean, it's certainly been exhausting as a mayor and as a small business owner starting up a business during a pandemic. None of that has been easy.
Right.
It's been a very stressful time, but if we're looking beyond that, you know, and obviously 2021. We'll have a municipal election coming up in May, so I'll be reoffering for mayor and hoping to keep the job and continue to work over the next few years in 2021 and beyond to continue renewing our community, building Miramichi up together with people. We've got momentum on population, we've got momentum on housing, and just keep moving forward and bringing Miramichi into the future.
Right.
And doing that collaboratively with people, because as I've said, in all the things that I do, I'm just one part of a team, whether that's with the city or with making any production or at the brewery. But, you know, certainly with the brewery, we're looking forward hopefully to a summer where, you know, we'll be able to maybe have events. Who knows what those are going to look like. Yeah. Continuing to always bring out new seasonal brews, so different maybe perhaps new radlers or different types of beer for the summer, and certainly who knows, right? And then I guess with that, with my career, I'm working right now actually on a really exciting project. I've never done this before, but it's a children's animated show.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
Which is really exciting for APTN, working with a local indigenous animator. And so it's quite exciting. That'll be coming out later on this year. We're working on it now. And we are as well in discussions to do another season this summer of the Atlantic edition. So, it's too early to say who might be a part of that in terms of guests, but it's looking like it'll be hopefully another busy and productive year of as a mayor, as a brewery owner, and in my television career. So again, I'm very lucky, and we'll look forward to having COVID in the rearview mirror.
Well, we're very lucky to have you today, Adam, and thank you for putting up with all of these insanely. That was pretty crazy. The one at the end.
It's normal to.
You
it's
did
normal.
A little bit better than me. I was.
It's normal for your nose to be running. I imagine.
It's very normal for that's I can tell you now eat hot sauce. You're like, my nose is running. Is that normal? Yeah, that's completely normal. You don't have to WebMD that later tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Because you do that.
Actually, you can by the way, use the shot of just Jimmy for the last 30 seconds where I've been wiping my nose like a.
Oh, you know what? It humanizes you. It makes you more human to your constituents. So they.
Well, by the way, Jimmy, I should take a moment to thank you as well for doing what you do, and obviously in any time, but especially in times that are a little bit tougher, it's always nice to have a laugh. And you've done that for the community. You're Miramichi's own Jimmy McKinley, and I know you haven't been able to get too far lately, but even the shows you've been doing in the community, and it does give people something to look forward to and to get a chuckle.
That's very kind of you. Thank you very much, my friend, Adam Lordon. Thank you very much for joining us today on the Hot Talk, and stay tuned for the next episode. See you later, guys.
See ya. We made it.